You wake up, walk to the bathroom, and face yourself in the mirror. The face is the same, the body carries the marks of time, but what weighs most isn't visible. It's the feeling that erections no longer happen the way they used to. For many mature men, this moment is silent and uncomfortable. Potency, which once was automatic, now feels distant, almost unreachable. And then the tormenting question arises. Is this something that can only be solved with expensive pills, temporary tricks, or solutions that trap you in dependency? The truth is no. There is a path that doesn't require medication and can change this scenario in just minutes. It may sound bold to say that in only 3 minutes the body's natural response can be reactivated, but that's exactly what science has been proving. It's not a miracle, it's biology. When blood flows in the right rhythm and forgotten muscles awaken, firmness can return quickly. And this process doesn't care about age. It's already happening with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who have adopted a simple, practical, and safe habit. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly how this works. More than an explanation, you will experience, in practice, a technique that activates the body from the inside out, restoring the confidence you thought was gone. It's about reclaiming potency without chemicals, without shortcuts, and without gimmicks, showing that the body never forgets what it once knew how to do. It only needs the right signal to awaken again. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of the new videos created for men who refuse to accept a life limited by impotence. And tell me in the comments, write confidence if you believe your body can still react naturally, or doubt if you feel you need more clarity before trying. When erections start to fail, most men run to the quickest fix: a blue pill, a miracle tablet, a product sold online promising instant results. And it's easy to see why. When frustration hits, who wouldn't look for a shortcut? The problem is, these shortcuts are nothing more than makeup. They may produce a temporary effect, but they never solve the root cause. Think of a wall full of cracks. You can paint over it, disguise it, cover the signs, but if the structure underneath remains weak, one day it all collapses. That's exactly what happens when erections depend on pills. The body never relearns how to function. It never reactivates the natural mechanisms that should sustain firmness. It just obeys an external chemical that comes at a high price: side effects, loss of autonomy, and often, increased anxiety. Men who rely only on medication sooner or later realize the cost isn't just financial. It's also emotional. Because with each attempt comes the fear. Will it work today? What if it doesn't? That fear erodes confidence. And confidence is exactly what sustains intimacy. What almost no one tells you is that the body does have its own resources to regain control. But they aren't forced awake. They respond to the right stimulus. And that's where the technique you're about to learn comes in. A natural, fast, and effective way to restore blood flow and firmness in just 3 minutes. Before I show you how to do it, it's important to understand why pills will never be a complete solution. Because only when the body is reactivated from the inside out does an erection stop being uncertain and return to being reliable. If this content is already making sense to you, take a moment to like this video. That simple gesture strengthens the channel and helps this message reach more men who need to know there is, indeed, a natural way to reclaim potency. Now that you understand why shortcuts don't work, it's time to take the first practical step. There's a simple technique called the 4-2-6 breathing method, which works like an internal switch. In minutes, it takes the body out of alert mode and into the ideal state for erections to happen naturally. The curious thing is that, although it's as basic as breathing, almost no one uses it consciously. Here's how it works. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting silently to 4. Feel the air filling your lungs, expanding your chest, occupying every space with oxygen. Then hold that breath for 2 seconds. This pause is not accidental. It's the signal your body uses to slow down. After that, exhale slowly through your mouth, counting to 6. Don't rush. Imagine that, along with the air, you're releasing built-up tension, worries, and even the anxiety that often shows up in intimate moments. This cycle, which seems too simple to matter, has a deep impact. As you inhale, your heart rate rises. During the pause, your body reorganizes itself. And as you exhale slowly, blood vessels dilate, blood flows more freely, and the mind relaxes. It's as if you were opening the inner gates that had been locked. Repeat the cycle a few times, and notice the change. By the second or third round, your heartbeat calms, your shoulders release, your circulation becomes more efficient. The key detail is that blood doesn't just spread to the bigger muscles like arms and legs. It reaches areas that had been neglected, including the base where an erection begins. That's the precise point where the 4-2-6 breathing technique shows its power. By shifting the body out of defense mode and into readiness, it creates the perfect conditions for a firmness to return. The most interesting part is that this doesn't require preparation, special timing, or a specific place. You can do it in your bedroom, your living room, sitting, or standing. It takes only 3 minutes to transform how your body responds. It's not about learning how to breathe. It's about teaching your body to use breath as a tool to unlock what felt lost. These 3 minutes already reveal the power your body still has. But if you want to go further and build lasting strength in your sex life and relationship, in my digital book, Rediscovering Intimacy, Healthy Sexuality, after 60, you'll find simple, practical guidance to reignite desire, restore confidence, and renew vitality. The link is in the first pinned comment. Access it and discover how to transform your intimate life from the inside out. 3 minutes may seem insignificant in the course of a whole day, but inside the body, this small interval is enough to trigger invisible changes that make all the difference. When you practice the 4-2-6 breathing method, you're not just controlling the air that goes in and out. You're actually sending direct commands to your nervous system, your heart, and most importantly, the blood vessels that sustain an erection. In the very first seconds, the brain receives a clear message. There is no danger. There is no reason for tension. That signal activates the parasympathetic system, the one responsible for calming, relaxing, and redirecting energy toward functions that demand balance, like digestion, rest, and of course, sexual response. It's as if a switch flips inside you, shifting the body from alert mode to preparation mode. Meanwhile, blood vessels begin to open. Picture tubes that were partly compressed, leaving the blood's passage narrow and irregular. With each slow exhalation, those inner walls regain elasticity. Flow increases. Blood stops being redirected to arms and legs, as happens when the body is under stress, and concentrates instead on the areas that need it most. This redirection happens almost immediately. Within minutes, the tissues in the intimate region receive oxygen and nutrients that had been denied for years by rushed, shallow breathing. That's why so many men report that their bodies feel as if they wake up after applying this technique. It's not suggestion, not a mental trick. It's pure biology reacting to the right stimulus. There's another quiet effect too, the drop in cortisol. This hormone, released excessively during stress, is one of the greatest saboteurs of potency. By slowing the internal rhythm, the 4-2-6 breathing reduces cortisol and makes room for other hormones linked to desire and firmness, like testosterone and serotonin, to take the lead. The result doesn't take months to appear. It begins right there, in the very first 3 minutes. That's the point most people don't realize. An erection is not just blood entering tissue. It's the combination of nerve commands, hormonal balance, and efficient circulation, all working together. And that's exactly what this technique unlocks in such a short time. If the 4-2-6 breathing works like an internal switch that opens the path for blood to circulate, the power pose acts like an amplifier. It's a simple gesture, but biologically powerful. In just 2 minutes, it shifts hormones, changes the body's chemistry, and restores a confidence that shows not only in the bedroom, but in every area of life. Here's how it works. Stand up. Place your feet shoulder-width apart, firmly grounded, as if you're occupying your own space. Rest your hands on your hips, open your chest, lift your chin. It's not arrogance, it's presence. This silent language is what your body understands as a signal of command. By adopting this stance, you send a direct message to your brain. I am in control. I am ready. What looks like a simple posture shift triggers a cascade of effects. Studies show that holding this stance for 2 minutes naturally raises testosterone levels and lowers cortisol, the same stress hormone that 4-2-6 breathing helps regulate. In other words, you not only reduce stress, but also give your body the hormonal foundation needed to sustain a firm and lasting erection. During this time, circulation also responds. The open chest allows more oxygen in, the pelvic muscles are subtly activated, and even the tone of your spine adjusts. It's as if the entire body suddenly remembers its original function: to sustain, to resist, to remain firm. And that's exactly what you feel: firmness. The most fascinating part is that the power pose doesn't depend on place or timing. You can do it at home, in the bathroom before leaving, or in the bedroom before intimacy. It doesn't require athletic effort or special training. It's just you, standing tall, breathing with awareness, letting your body understand there's no room for fear or insecurity. When combined with the 4-2-6 breathing, the effect becomes even stronger. Breath organizes the mind and relaxes the vessels. The pose activates muscles, adjusts hormones, and reinforces confidence. Together, these techniques create a physical and mental state that turns what once seemed impossible into something natural. In 3 minutes, the body already reacts differently, and the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. Separately, the 4-2-6 breathing and the power pose deliver clear benefits. But together, in sequence, it's as if the body is placed into a rare state of synchronization. Mind, hormones, circulation, and muscles all working side by side without friction. This is where the so-called natural shortcut to erections is born. 3 minutes capable of reversing, even if temporarily at first, a process that took years to develop. Here's how it works. By inhaling, holding, and exhaling at the right rhythm, you open the internal gates, free space for blood to flow, and teach the body to leave defense mode immediately. Afterward, by adopting the power pose, you don't just keep that flow open, you reinforce it with hormonal and muscular adjustment. It's as if breathing were the key that starts the engine, and posture were the accelerator that ensures it keeps running strong. The combined effect appears quickly. Blood reaches the intimate region with more intensity, the pelvic floor muscles hold that flow for longer, and testosterone provides the chemical support needed to sustain firmness. What once was failure and insecurity begins to turn into control and predictability. The body no longer reacts by chance, it reacts by preparation. Another crucial detail is the psychological impact. When a man feels this difference in just a few minutes, he no longer sees erection as something distant or out of reach. The fear of depending on a pill disappears because, for the first time in years, he realizes his own body can create the result. That sense of self-sufficiency feeds itself. The more he practices, the more confident he feels. The more confident he feels, the easier the physical response becomes. This positive cycle directly contrasts with the negative cycle created by pills. Instead of anxiety, calm arises. Instead of dependence, autonomy. Instead of doubt, the certainty that 3 well-spent minutes can open the door to something much greater, the long-term recovery of vitality. To understand the real impact of these techniques, let me share the story of Robert, 68. He came to my office with the same look many men try to hide, a mixture of frustration, shame, and disbelief. He had already tried expensive pills, miracle teas, and even random exercises he found online. Nothing worked consistently. Each failure only reinforced the feeling that his body had given up. In our first conversation, he whispered, "Doctor, I think my time has passed." But what Robert didn't know is that the body doesn't forget how to react. It only falls asleep, waiting for the right signal. So I proposed a simple challenge: 3 minutes a day. 4-2-6 breathing, the power pose, nothing more. No pills, no magic promises, just consistency. The following week, the defeated man walked back in looking different. He told me that, for the first time in years, he had felt confident before lying down with his wife. "It was my body that responded, not a pill," he said, almost in disbelief. At every visit, he reported progress. More firmness, more control, more energy. The light in his eyes returned, along with something even more valuable than the erection itself: self-confidence. Stories like Robert's show that this is not just about performance. It's about reclaiming autonomy, realizing that vitality was never gone for good. And this isn't a privilege for a few. It's within reach for any man willing to commit to 3 minutes a day. The secret is in practice, consistency, and the courage to trust your body again. And if you've stayed with me until now, it's because you also feel ready to take that step. So subscribe to the channel right now. This way, you'll keep receiving practical, transformative content like this. Don't forget to leave your like too, because that helps this message reach more men who need it. And take a moment to watch the other videos on the channel. Each one offers tools and insights that can change not only your intimate life, but your overall health. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, 3 minutes a day can completely change the way you experience your strength and vitality.